As men deal with the challenges of life and societal expectations, some lessons emerge belatedly, leaving traces of reflection and contemplation. As the lesser-known Stoic Marcus Rufus wisely observed, "If one accomplishes some good though with toil, the toil passes but the good remains." Drawing from Stoicism, we'll look at 7 important lessons that many men only realize too late. These lessons, when understood at the right time, can turn problems into victories and regrets into growth pillars. Let's dive into these lessons and set a course for a life lived with purpose and clarity before we start. Please let me know if you like the video so that I can keep spreading the Stoic philosophy. If you haven't already, I suggest that you do so and act on the bell so you don't miss any movies. Lesson number: the power of now. Picture yourself standing by a riverbank. The water represents the different times in your life. Some of the water represents clear memories, while others represent regret or anxiety. Many of us are stuck in the middle of this river, desperately grasping at moments from the past or reaching out to the unknowns of the future. But while we're doing this, we forget to enjoy the present moment, which is represented by the water right next to us. Marcus Aurelius once said that time is like a river of passing events, and its current is the relentless march of time, which we cannot control. For example, if a musician is preoccupied with a piece from years ago, or is worried about a tricky section up ahead, he may falter in the present. Similarly, our best experiences in life occur when we are fully present. Consider a recent meal that you really enjoyed by concentrating on the taste, texture, and aroma, rather than getting distracted by other thoughts or feelings. When you are truly present, listening carefully and valuing the shared time, you experience the true essence of that moment, or consider conversations with loved ones. Relationships get stronger and more important. Being Stoic doesn't mean ignoring the past or the future entirely, but Heraclitus lived before Stoicism, and his ideas had a big influence on its adherents because he saw how fleeting life was. It's not possible for 2 different people to step into the same river twice because the river and the person are different. This emphasizes how life is constantly changing. Each moment is unique, and once it's gone, it's never really come back. By valuing the present, we not only improve our current experiences, but we also make better memories for the future. As we travel the river of life, the question is, do we want to spend our time chasing or anticipating the past, or do we want to fully experience the present? In today's connected world, it's all too easy to judge our worth by what other people think. We look for digital thumbs ups and wait for praise at work, or we look for constant reassurance in our personal relationships. However, this pursuit can be compared to chasing a mirage because as we get closer, it fades, leaving us constantly yearning. Your life will go well if you don't try to make things happen the way you want them to, according to a well-known Stoic philosopher who once emphasized this. We can figure out from this that when we base our happiness and sense of self-worth on what other people think of us, we give up our peace of mind to the world, which is always changing and rarely reliable. When you think about social media influencers, their status is often based on how many fans, likes, and comments they get. But digital landscapes are known for being unstable. Today's popular hashtag could be yesterday's news tomorrow. Basing your sense of self-worth on these short-lived measures is a bad idea, the foundation that causes mental turmoil and constant dissatisfaction. Stoicism provides a unique perspective. It tells us to look inward to find validation from our own principles and virtues. By basing our sense of self on lasting values like wisdom, honesty, and passion, we build a foundation that can stand up to the constantly shifting sands of public opinion. As we go through life, let's ask ourselves if we want our worth to be based on external, often arbitrary measures, or if we want to find deeper internal validation, one that stands firm in the ephemeral flows of societal validation. Accepting the latter can be the key to real contentment and self-assurance. We live in a time of luxury and consumerism, so lesson number 3 is that things don't define worth. Buildings that shine, cars that zip by, and brand labels can all be seen as signs of success and personal worth. But studying Stoic philosophy can give you a very different view, one that stresses how intangible true worth is. Marcus Aurelius said something wise: "The only thing you need to make your life happy is to change the way you think. This kind of advice shows that having a lot of stuff may be comforting, but it doesn't always mean you're happy inside. Think about a story about two artists. One was famous and his art sold for huge amounts of money, which gave him a luxurious life. But he was always looking for outside approval, and he was never happy. The less successful artist was tied to the next sale, but he found great joy in the process of making art. He loved every brushstroke and the emotions they brought out. His wealth wasn't in money, but in contentment, not in acclaim, but in self-awareness. Stoicism kindly reminds us that material things are only temporary parts of our lives and can be lost, stolen, or become useless. But virtues like wisdom, honesty, and kindness are treasures that don't rust or decay. Our inner virtues and character richness are what hold our lives together in the big fabric of life. Material comforts can add color and texture, but they are what make the threads that last. Let the Stoic lessons create a life where our worth isn't based on what we have, but on who we are and how much we understand and care about others. This is lesson number 4. Influence versus control. People have always wanted to be in charge of their lives, their situations, and the world around them. Stoic advice offers a new way of looking at things that can change our minds, realizing that there is a big difference between what we can control and what we can only affect. It's as simple as this: we control our moral will and all the actions that depend on it. What we don't control is our body or any of its parts, our goods, our parents, our siblings, our children, our country, or anything else we might connect with. To break this down in a modern way, imagine you're a sailor navigating a huge ocean. You're in charge of your ship's speed, direction, and the upkeep of all of its parts. You can control the water currents with this. You can't control the weather or the hidden obstacles that lie beneath it, but you can influence how your ship interacts with these factors, which will make your journey more successful. This difference, which may seem simple, has very important consequences. Consider a professional working on a team project. While they can't control their coworkers' actions, attitudes, or punctuality, they can influence the group dynamic through effective communication, leading by example, and fostering a collaborative environment. By internalizing the Stoic dichotomy of control, we can free ourselves from the exhausting pursuit of trying to dominate every aspect of our lives. Instead, we can focus our efforts on the things that really matter and where they can make a difference. In doing so, we not only find peace in accepting the uncontrollable, but also harness our true potential in areas where our influence can shine. Number 5, the most optimistic lesson. In many cultures and societies, emotional expression, especially when perceived as vulnerability, has been mistakenly equated with weakness. However, Stoic philosophy teaches us a different lesson: that true strength isn't in suppressing emotions, but in mastering them. Seneca, a luminary of Stoic thought, observed that we are not given complete control. If you try to deny or suppress your emotions, you will not only be wasting your time, but you may also experience more inner turmoil. Think of your emotions as powerful rivers. When they're wild and unchecked, they can flood our minds, cause chaos, and throw us off track. But if you put up the right barriers and direction, those same rivers can be harnessed for huge amounts of energy that propels us forward emotionally. In this analogy, mastery is like building those channels and barriers not to deny the river its course, but to direct it in a way that is advantageous in real-life situations. Mastery could mean recognizing anger when it comes up, figuring out why it's there, and then choosing a healthy way to let it out instead of lashing out. It could also mean recognizing sadness, giving yourself time to grieve, and then getting help or taking care of yourself instead of keeping it inside. Marcus Aurelius frequently emphasized that our power lies in how we deal with and shape difficulties, not in avoiding them. When we master our emotions, they can be powerful tools. They can help us learn a lot about ourselves, follow our dreams, and even connect us deeply with others. This is why Stoicism tells us of our emotions. When we achieve this, we not only gain strength over our emotions, but also a deeper, more meaningful form of strength that is both strong and profound. Mastery is not about trying to deny our feelings, but rather understanding, respecting, and channeling them. Taking into account limited time is lesson number 6. While some people might find talking about death morbid, The Stoics saw it as a tool for purposeful living. This is one of the subtle but profound aspects of Stoic philosophy. Epicurus said, "Don't wait to use your own resources. If you do, you'll lose them." This wasn't just about money. It was also about time, skills, and chances. Every sunrise we see is a gift, but it's also a gentle reminder that our days are numbered. Think of the sand in an hourglass slowly falling away with each passing moment. In the same way, our time is constantly flowing, encouraging us to act, love, learn, and contribute. This isn't a reason to panic, but rather a spark for purpose. Recognizing that we only have so much time forces us to focus on what really matters, getting rid of the unnecessary and focusing on the important things. A practical example of this can be seen in the decisions we make each day. Do we invest our time in activities that will enrich our souls, fortify our minds, and elevate our spirits, or do we spend it on activities that will make memories with loved ones and leave legacies that will last beyond our mortal existence? Marcus Aurelius said, "You could lead time right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." This wasn't a call to somber resignation, but a vibrant rallying cry to seize the future and to act with urgency and integrity. By accepting the finite nature of time, we become efficient planners and wise stewards of our resources. Lesson number 7, always trying to get better. There is a philosophy called Stoicism that is all about improving yourself. Stoics are aware of the outside forces and challenges in life, but they strongly believe that each person has the power to grow, change, and improve themselves no matter what happens. As Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This emphasizes a lifelong dedication to rising above oneself. It's not a race with a finish line, but a long journey where the journey itself is the goal. Like iron that is left out in the elements, it rusts and corrodes, but when subjected to the constant hammering and heat of a forge, it becomes a sharp, resilient blade. Similarly, our minds and characters can stagnate and degrade if left unattended, but with deliberate effort, discipline, and the fire of self-improvement, we can grow. In real life, this Stoic principle can show up in different ways. It could be the ongoing process of learning knowledge, not just from books, but also from interactions and experiences in life. It could mean asking for feedback, even when it's hard to hear, and using it as a way to improve. It could also mean putting our egos aside, admitting our flaws, and working to fix them in a world full of distractions where short-term pleasures often come before long-term growth. Stoics stress constant self-improvement as a way to rise above mediocrity, challenge oneself, and start a journey where every step, challenge, and hurdle overcome leads to a richer, wiser, and more refined self. As the curtain falls on today's exploration, it's worth pausing to think about the depth of Stoic wisdom we've learned. Each lesson is a compass that directs us through life's many challenges, not just a piece of knowledge. It's one thing to hear these lessons, but it's another to live by them, guiding our daily actions and choices. Let's start a conversation so that as a community we can learn, grow, and truly embody the Stoic principles in our daily lives. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, stay reflective and ever evolving.